Hey, this is Drew from Manly Camp. Hey, I just want to say thanks for signing up for our giveaway. Our Rugged Elite Handbook is set to hit Kickstarter on March 30th. Now, it's a 90-day planner unlike anything you've ever seen before. It's designed to do one thing to get you massive results. Now, in order for us to pick a winner for this awesome giveaway, we got to make sure that we get funded on Kickstarter. So I want you to share this with as many people as possible to make sure that we hit our funding goals so we can choose somebody for this awesome giveaway. So I'm going to send you a couple emails over the next couple of days. One, just to talk about the Rugged Elite Handbook and kind of its story, where the idea came from, and what we're hoping to accomplish with it. And then two, I'm going to send you an email about Manly Camp, just letting you know about our brand story and kind of what we stand for. So again, thank you for signing up for this awesome giveaway. We hope you're as pumped as we are for the Rugged Elite Handbook. If you guys want to stick around, we've got about a 15-minute video just to give you a preview of what you guys are in store for the handbook. And again, thank you for signing up for the giveaway. Now let's go get funded. All right, guys, I'm going to go ahead and open up this Rugged Elite Handbook for you and just kind of walk you through these pages and some of the content that's in here and help you guys get started. So as we scroll through this page right here, the Let's Get Started, we've got some awesome resources we set up for you. You can either go here to our website, manlycampbrands.com/pages/REH, like Rugged Elite Handbook, start. Or what we've done is we've got some cool QR codes for you tech-savvy folks out there that's going to connect you to our Facebook group and also our introduction video series, a 3-part series we're putting together that's just really around goal setting and to help you get the most out of your planner. So you can just whip open your phone, and if you have an iPhone, you can just whip open your camera and place it over these. It'll go ahead and scan those QR codes for you, and we'll open you up to these 2 pieces of resources here for you. As we go down, obviously, name, phone, email, just to make sure that nobody steals your handbook for you. Just a few quotes here that I've connected with that are pretty motivational to me. Hopefully they will be for you as well. And then really this is where the meat of the planner comes in. So it talks about our Elite 4 framework, which, like we said, it's a very simple but not easy strategy to really help you set up what goals you want and start working towards your ultimate outcomes. And so the first step of the Elite 4 framework is really categorize your life into 4 main buckets. And so we have body, relationships, mind, and financials. And really what that means is any goals that you have for the next 90 days that you're going to be putting in this planner should really fall under one of these categories. And we remember this by BRMF, or Be Real, Mother, you know what. And the second step is get extremely clear on what you want. And that's really just defining long-term, what do you want out of each of these categories? So for body, for example, it could be that, I just want to stay in shape. I want to be in a position where I can go outside and run and play with my kids and not be sidelined because I'm, not healthy or because I, weigh too much or things like that. Relationships could be, long-term, what do you want to have a happy, fun-filled marriage. Maybe you're single and your outcome goal is to find that person that you want to have a deep relationship with. Mind, it could be, your relationship with God, if you're religious. It could be, trying to find kind of a special spot for meditation, things like that. And financials, what does this look like long-term for you? Like, not necessarily I want to be a millionaire, but really try to answer the question why. Why would you want to be a millionaire? Is it because you want to have time available to you that you can spend with your kids and your family and things like that? So this is the second step in the Elite 4 framework, is really to find what do you actually want in these categories. And a good way to do this is whenever you define something here, ask yourself why, at least 3 or 4 times to figure out what is the main driver behind what you want for these. Step 3 is develop a roadmap to get there, which is really your 90-day map. So let's say your body, again, your goal is I want to be able to go outside and run with my kids. And what's keeping you from doing that right now? Maybe you weigh a little bit, more than you like to, or maybe your diet is not as healthy as you'd want. So what can you do in the next 90 days to support that overall outcome up here? And so that's your roadmap, right? And you're going to do that for each one of these categories. And then step 4 in the framework is ruthlessly execute every day. And that's really what this book is designed to help you do, is to break out your 90-day goals into sub-goals and execution tasks that you can hold yourself accountable to, and make sure you're doing them every single day. So next in the book, how do you get there? This really just kind of explains the process a little bit further with outcome goals, performance goals, and process goals. And so outcome goals, again, we already talked about these, but that's really the overarching theme of what do you want out of each one of those categories. So, for example, I maintain a healthy lifestyle that lets me be active with my children. A performance goal that could support that is I will lose 20 pounds in the next 90 days. So that's your 90-day goal. And then process goals is, okay, what daily actions are you going to take that are going to support that performance goal? So in order to lose 20 pounds in the next 90 days, what do you need to do every single day? And so we like to frame these as a yes or no. So did I complete this or not? So for example, run a 5K today. You have direct control over that. You either did it or you didn't, and you can hold yourself accountable to that. So as we go down, it just kind of explains like how do these work? How do you start with outcomes, drive down to performance, then drive down to process, and how does process help support your performance goals, which in turn help support your outcome goals? And then we just talk about kind of what we do on every page for every day is win the day section. So just to hold yourself accountable that you either knocked out your tasks and completed them for the day and you get to have a win, or you didn't and you get to have a loss. And so there's nothing wrong with having a loss on your record. We all have losses, but you're going to drive to try to win the day every single day, and that's going to help drive that process, which is going to help you meet your performance goals, which is going to help you ultimately get to your outcomes. So once you kind of understand this framework, you're really ready to start defining what your outcomes are. And so what we have is a section here for each of these. So the BRMF, that's to really formalize what you want your outcome goals to be for each category. So once you've done that, now we're going to go ahead and we're going to knock out our targets or our 90-day performance goals. So after you've defined your outcomes, now it's to define your targets. So we listed a couple here for each. You can put down as many or as little as you want, but just try to make sure that you are, you're not biting off more than you can chew in this section, and try to be realistic with yourself. And you want to use SMART goals, right? So specific, measurable, attainable, relevant, and timely. So you want to make sure that you can actually accomplish these, that you're not putting down too much on yourself. You also want to make sure that they are measurable, so they have some type of metric that you can hold yourself accountable to, that they're time bound, and again, that you don't bite off more than you can chew. So be realistic with these goals. But for example, body, like we talked about before, would be that I want to lose 20 pounds in the next 90 days here. Relationships, maybe you are not taking your spouse as much as you should be. Maybe one of your goals is take them out on a date, at least 6 times over the next 90 days. So we want to make sure that they are specific, that they're measurable, tied to some type of metric, that they're attainable. We're being realistic with them. They're relevant to the actual subcategory here, and that they're timely. And of course, these are going to be time bound because we're restricting ourselves to 90 days in these. And as we go through this book here, what we do is we want to break down our performance goals, right? So let's just again choose that body one, I want to lose 90 or 20 pounds in the next 90 days. So we're going to circle which one is relevant to, so our body category, and we want to define why is this goal important to me. So this is going to help formalize that goal and really help you think about why do I want to achieve this? How does this tie directly to my outcome goal? And then we have a section for benchmarks here. So like I said, you want to be measurable with these goals. You want to make sure that they're attainable as well. And so what you want to do is put kind of 3 sub goals up beneath that higher level goal here. So a benchmark for this might be, okay, hey, I want to lose 10 pounds in the first 6 weeks or whatever. And another one is, hey, I want to run at least 10 miles a week. You can definitely measure that one, and so forth and so on. So we basically break this goal down into kind of smaller chunks, right? That's going to help us ultimately reach that goal. And so we do this for each one of our goals here, our performance goals. We define why it's important to us, and then we also set benchmarks down. And so you do that for each one. And then important page here we come to is our commitment page. And this just really says that, I'll just read this out loud to you, that it's really making a commitment to yourself that this goal is important to you. You know the reason why, and you are going to commit yourself to accomplishing this and giving your 100% effort to reach this in the next 90 days. So it says, I fully commit to giving 100% effort to achieve the goals I've made for myself over the next 90 days. I will have bad days. I will get tired. I will want to quit, but I won't. I know that giving everything I've got and accomplishing these goals will take me closer to the life that I want. I'm committed to getting there, no matter how hard it is or how long it takes. I commit that when I look back in 90 days, I will be proud of the things that I've accomplished. And then you do a signature and a date, just again to hold yourself accountable to making these a priority in your life. Next, what we have is a monthly calendar view. So what we've done is we've given you 3 months, right? So 90 days, 3 months. And this is really just a section to list off maybe things that aren't part of your goal setting strategy, but things that are important, like a birthday is coming up, like you have to make a phone call on this date or whatever, just to kind of, keep yourself on track, because there are other things going on in your life than just those 90-day goals that you've set. So we want to make sure that you're tracking those as well. If you guys use a electronic calendar or a Google Calendar or anything like that, that's fine. If that works for you, that's good. But I've just found that writing things down and having it in a notebook for me definitely helps me remember things. So like I said, we've got 3 months here for you. And then I'll just go through 1 week here because each week is going to look eerily similar. But what we do is we want to plan our week. So we've went ahead and we've set our outcome goals, we've set our performance goals, and we've set our benchmarks for those goals. And now what we want to do is break it down to the week level. So these are your weekly targets. So again, you want to break them down into each one of these categories and what do you want to accomplish each week for these categories. So like I said, one of those was, hey, I want to lose, 10 pounds in the next 6 weeks. So, okay, maybe this week I want to lose 10 pounds. That's my weekly target for body, just for an example. And so you break down those into each of the categories. And then we have a little section down here for gratitude. So just really taking a little moment to think about what I'm grateful for. And then we know that stuff can get in the way. Your week can be pretty hectic. A lot of things are going to get put on your plate. So if you were to prioritize just accomplishing one thing this week, what would it be? And just jot that down here and why. And this is just to kind of, keep you focused on what are the big rocks that you want to move to push the ball forward. And then after we do the weekly planning, now we'll break it down to a day by day. So this is the majority of the book that you'll see here. So this would be day 1 of 90 and whatever today's date is. And then we've got a section that you can circle the day. And what's nice about this is it's undated, right? So you don't have to wait until January 1st or the 1st of the month or wait till Monday to get started. You can get started now. So I'll just break down each of these sections for you here. So what we do is we have our everyday non-negotiables, and we've listed sweat, meditate, gratitude, and planning. And so I'll just speak to these each for just a couple seconds. So sweat, we put down here 35 minutes. That's really, doesn't matter what the time frame is. It's just making sure that you go move your body every single day, because that's going to help you, 1, reach whatever body goals you have, but 2, just to help you get into a more clear frame of mind and release endorphins. And so we put sweat down here as an everyday non-negotiable. Meditate, again, we put 10 minutes. You can do that for as long as you want to, but it's really just sitting down, taking some time to think about your outcome goals, thinking about how you're performing. And then we have gratitude, 5 minutes. And so every day we put this in as a block of time just to, again, think about what are you thankful for today. And then planning, this should be probably at the end of every single day. And you're just going to plan for the day ahead. Your 90-day targets. So what we want to do is just reinforce those here. And so you'll just list out your 90-day targets for each one of these every single day, just to make sure they're at the top of your mind. And then now we'll go into our execution tasks. And so these are your process goals, or the things that you have direct control over. And so, for our body category, again, we'll just use that as an example. Our weekly target was lose, 2 pounds or 3 pounds, something like that. So what's going to help support that I need to do today for my body? So one might be, I want to, eat the 4 pre-planned meals that I have, and make sure I check that off for the day. I want to make sure that I run 2 miles this morning. I'm going to check that off for the day. Make sure that I drink, 1 gallon of water for the day and check that off. And so these are things that you have direct control over. It's either a yes or no, I completed them. And then you'll do that for each category, what you want to do for the day. And then when you go through and do your daily recap, It's either a yes, I completed all of these tasks, and we'll get a W, or I didn't, and we get a loss for the day. And then also on the next page, again, it's going to be day 1 and same date here, we have our non-essential to-dos. So again, these are things that may not tie directly to your goals that you have, but they're things that need to get done for the day. Like, I don't want to forget that I need to pick up the kids from daycare today, or things like that. And then we have a note section. So it's always a good idea to have, some type of blank sheet of paper where you can just jot ideas down as they come to you throughout the day, or maybe something that, a colleague says to you. But just to have this spot here just to jot down some notes for you. And so what you'll see is it's a repeat, right? It's going to be every day for 90 days. And it's going to follow the same format. And one of the last things I want to show you here is our results, our after action review, or AAR section. So what we're going to do is take some time before the next week starts just to really take stock of how we perform for the week. And so you see we have our categories here, our body, relationships, mind, and financials, and a win or loss for the week. And so the win or loss for the week is, did you accomplish all of those daily execution tasks for yourself that you laid out? Did you do those every single day? If you did, that's a W. That's awesome. If you didn't, that's an L. Now what you'll find is you're probably going to have a lot of L's in this column, and that's okay. Like I said, life gets in the way, but we want to make sure that we're holding ourselves accountable, and we're really trying to accomplish those tasks that we set out for us. And the last section that I'll show you here is really just a weekly reflection. The questions here is, what is one thing about this week I'm proud of? Did I accomplish my most important thing? Remember that one thing that we outlined at the beginning of the week. And if we didn't, why not? And how can we improve this next week? What roadblocks to success did I face this week, and how can I eliminate them next week? And then what is something that helped me drive success this week, and how can I emulate this and make it a habit? So we'll do this each week for a weekly recap, just to make sure that we're jotting things down, again, holding ourselves accountable and trying to outline those roadblocks that we're having, and then things that are helping us be successful. Let's try to turn those into a habit. And then a note section here, a weekly notes as you're kind of going through these questions. If you run out of room, or if you want to just write some things down from the week, we'll have here. And then you'll see we'll go into week 2. And so each week is going to look very, very similar again. It's just going to be the next week that we're going to. And so what I'll do is I'll scroll down here all the way to the end. You can find it here. So we're on week 13. We get down to the end. We've completed 13 weeks, and you are done, son. So pat yourself on the back. Set your next 90-day targets. And then the very, very end of the book, we have 25 pages of blank sheets. Again, just for note-taking or anything like that. And so that's the book, guys. I just wanted to give you an overview, and thank you guys for signing up for the giveaway, and look forward for this thing launching. Thanks.